Hi, I'm Scott from Horticulture. Welcome to Dublin Grows Greener. Today I'm joined with Brian from Forestry and Chris from Parks. We're going to talk about watering and fertilizing to take you from summer into fall. So right here we have some newly installed perennials. We planted them in the fall, and so from a watering standpoint, we're going to want to water these deep and frequently. So we don't want to water them a little bit every day. We want to water a lot, a couple times a week. We will put some fertilizer in with them to get them through the fall, and we apply a nice mulch layer to keep the soil moist. So the other thing that we're watering late summer and into fall is we have some containers. You may have them in front of your houses. So it's late summer. These guys still need water throughout the fall. And even when you plant new new annuals in the fall, like your mums and cabbage, they still need watered the same as your summer annuals. So make sure that you water them deeply and infrequently. You want to fill the whole pot up with water and let it drain out a couple times a week, and they should be good for the rest of the season.
Hi, I'm Brian Goodall, City Forester. And now we're going to talk about trees with watering fertilization as we come into the fall. So even with mature trees or newly planted trees, we want to make sure we're watering really well into the fall. It's a good time of year. Trees still require a lot of water. Good rule of thumb is we want to make sure we're doing 10 gallons of water for every caliper inch. So if you plant a new tree this fall and it's 1 to 2 inches in diameter, you want to make sure you're putting 10 to 20 gallons of water in for that tree once or twice a week. A good way to make sure you're getting enough water on your trees is to use a product like this, put it in a gator bag. The bag will actually wrap around the base of the tree, and it has a hole in the top, and they're typically about 15 gallons if they make some bigger ones. And what that does is it allows you to measure out exactly how much water you're putting on your tree, and it allows that water to come out slowly over the course of the night. Good rule of thumb, as Scott mentioned, with your perennials, you want to go a lot of water over a long period of time, not short, frequent watering. You want to allow that water to get really soaked into the root system of the tree, allow for a deeper, more resilient root system. Another good rule of thumb is make sure you have a nice layer of mulch over the root area of the tree. It's going to help retain soil moisture. It's going to help retain soil temperatures going into the fall, provide a healthier tree long term. Another good tip for the fall is fertilization. You are fertilizing your trees for the fall. You want to make sure you're using a low nitrogen fertilizer as opposed to high nitrogen for some other uses that you might have. Another thing to consider is that if you're fertilizing your lawn as well, make sure you're knowing what you're putting where, because you don't want to over fertilize by using the lawn fertilizer and the tree fertilizer all at once.
Hi, my name is Chris Nickel. I'm with Parks Operations. We're going to talk about 4 key tips today to keep your lawn green and healthy going into the fall. So the 4 things that we're going to talk about today are mowing, watering, aeration, and fertilization. When we talk about mowing, we always want to remember one key rule is never to remove more than 1/3 of the total height at the time that you're mowing. This will keep your lawn healthy. You won't have a bunch of thatch laying everywhere across your lawn. Just a good rule of thumb to keep in mind all season long when we talk about mowing. Next, we'll talk about watering. Good rule of thumb for watering your turf is 1 inch of water per week. This includes the water that we get from rainfall and the water that you put down as part of your irrigation system if you water yourself. Next, we're going to talk about aeration. Aeration is important in the fall to open up the soil and allow air, water, and nutrients to get down in the soil and allow the roots to take up as much of those nutrients as possible going into winter. Next, we're going to talk about fertilization. Fertilizing is an important part of your lawn maintenance program. If there's one application that you do per year, the most important one is the late fall app. When selecting fertilizers for this late fall app, you'll want to choose a fertilizer that is at least 30% nitrogen per bag. When talking about the nitrogen quantities per bag, the 3 numbers that are listed on the bag, that first number is your nitrogen quantity. So just making sure that is at least 30 or above. That's the perfect fertilizer for a fall application. Once you've selected the fertilizer that you want to use for that fall application, you want to use a fertilizer spreader to make that application. Each fertilizer spreader and fertilizer company gives directions on how to put down the fertilizer, so please follow the label on the bag in order to make that application successful. Once you finish your application, you'll want to make sure that all the hard surfaces around your property have been blown off or swept off. That's including the roadway, any of the sidewalks, or your driveway, in order to minimize any runoff going into the storm sewer system.
Thanks for joining us with Dublin Grows Greener. We hope these tips help you take care of your plants, grass, and trees at home.